And it's a very, very big welcome to you all here on Vitality Women's FA Cup Day. It's the second round of a game, but we should have been here right at the first weekend of 2021. But obviously with COVID, this has been delayed, but happy that football has come back. And we do have a bit of FA action for you here on Watford FC's live stream today. It's second round action. Watford against MK Dons. Coming live from the Orbital Farston Stadium in Kings Langley. I'm Chris Walker, your voice for today, so welcome on board. The weather, about 7 degrees, 7 or 8 degrees. It's nice and sunny, fairly clear blue skies, but it is a little bit chilly. There is a slight breeze around, and that is something that the goalkeepers will just need to be a little bit mindful of once play gets underway. But as we said, we are in Kings Langley. And for those of you tuning in and obviously watching in from all over the UK, it's a little village halfway between Watford and Hemel Hempstead, and to give it its full geographical location, it's 21 miles actually northwest of Westminster. Obviously Kings Langley on the edge of the Chiltern Hills, very much now part of what's recognised as the London commuter belt. The village itself though is divided between two local government districts by the River Gade. So we've obviously got the Three Rivers district and of course the borough of Dacorum. But the earliest mention though of Kings Langley goes back to about 1050 to the manor of Langley, which is a Saxon charter. Apologies if my Saxon's a little bit off in pronunciation. In the Domesday Book of 1086 it appears as Langley and is recorded as Langley Regis or Langley of the King in 1254. But what does that mean? The name actually translates and means long wood or clearing. Now Kings Langley itself can trace its origins all the way back to Roman times with a Roman villa excavated just south of the village. The manor itself though, going forward into medieval times, was probably a possession of the Abbey of St Albans, records of which have been since long lost. Following the Norman conquest of 1066, the manor was one of hundreds given to Robert, Count of Mortain, who was the half-brother of King William the Conqueror. His tenant was a certain Ralph, and if you know who Ralph is, let us know. Now, the present village developed as a linear village along the old road from London to Berkhamsted and beyond to the Midlands. Now, in about 1276, the manor was purchased by Queen Eleanor of Castile, who was wife of King Edward I, and Kings Langley Palace was built on the hill to the west of the village with a deer park, which that extended out to the south. Now, Kings Langley Priory, which was of the Dominican order, for all you history buffs out there, which remains do survive, was founded next to the palace. Sadly though, there's very much a little of either the palace or the priory, I think, remaining today. Now the Church of All Saints was built during the 14th century in the village on the site of an earlier church, and that still stands to this day. Kings Langley is of course the birthplace of Edmund of Langley, the first Duke of York, and the fourth surviving son of King Edward III, whose tomb does survive in the village church here in Kings Langley. Now, the 18th century Sparrows Hearns Turnpike Road, or as it's better now known as A41, traversed the Chilterns via the valley of the River Gade and ran down the village high street. Now, the 16th century Saracen's Head Public House was a coaching inn which flourished in this period. I think that's still standing in the high street to this day. During World War II, Kings Langley was the home to the secret headquarters in Britain of the Polish Underground Army, based at Barnes Lodge, just off the Hempstead Road, actually near Ruckler's Lane, which is not a million miles away, literally from where we are today. Now, Kings Langley is also synonymous with hot chocolate, and you can't mention Kings Langley without making a mention of the Ovaltine factory. Yep, Kings Langley, yeah, Ovaltine. Those of a certain age, we are the Ovaltines. Before my time, I know. I'm not going to sing it either. However, the factory did produce an awful lot of hot chocolate. The listed factory facade, which was designed in the early 1920s by James Albert Bowden, is all that's left of the factory now, and it still stands as a frontage to the apartments, flats and duplexes that were converted from the factory and built behind. Now, the formal Ovaltine egg plant, or the egg factory, obviously converted into energy efficient offices and pioneering green energy tech with a big turbine that's situated to the south of the village. Kings Langley itself appears in literature as well. In Shakespeare's Richard II, Act 3, Scene 4, is set in the garden of the Palace of Langley. In the 2010 book Beautiful Darkness, the character Olivia Durand is from Kings Langley, and in Alan Bennett's Habeas Corpus play in 1973, it's mentioned by Mrs. Swab as you do. We've mentioned about Edward of Langley, but Langley itself has a couple of, shall we say, military heroes. First of those born in the village was Lieutenant Alan Rice Oxley, a recipient of a Distinguished Flying Cross. He was a British pilot, of course, during World War I, a flying ace in only 1918, but managed to get 6 victories nonetheless in the air and got the cross for it. Going up from that, I'll show you a Distinguished Flying Cross. I'll raise you a Victoria Cross, and Christopher Augustus Cox was the most, obviously won that in gallantry in the face of the enemy in World War I. Born in Kings Langley on Christmas Day, 1889. And he was actually involved in an attack in Achetay-le-Grand in France, and he was actually a stretcher bearer. And actually, obviously, with going out over fire-swept ground and single-handedly rescued 4 men. Having brought the wounded back of his own battalion, he then went out to help the other battalions nearby. On 2 subsequent days, he then carried out similar work, and I think that maybe might have given someone an idea of doing Hacksaw Ridge, similar sort of thing a few years later. Also famous people born in Kings Langley, singer-songwriter Griff, that's right, the 2021 Brit Award winner for the Rising Star category. That's right, was actually born in Kings Langley, and to give her a proper name is Sarah Faith Griffiths, better known as Griff. Former world #1 professional golfer Luke Donald lived in Kings Langley and also attended the Rudolph Steiner School. But we're ending with a world heavyweight champion, lots of titles, however we'll have those later in the year. We'll see what Mr. Tyson says about that, Mr. Fury. That's right, Anthony Joshua attended the nearby Kings Langley School. But who at full time will have delivered the knockout blow to get to the 3rd round, and who'll be left reaching for the smelling salts? That's right, FA Cup action today. Someone will be left standing at the end of the game. Watford against MK Dons is your match today. We will have a look at the teams very, very shortly. Just to remind you, the winner of this tie will be at home next weekend to face either Wolverhampton Wanderers or Nottingham Forest. And then the latest score from that we have, I believe it is still 0-0 at the moment, though there was a report of, well, what looked like a last-ditch challenge that could have, saw the player get a yellow, could have been a red card. Watch it and discuss it is all I'll say, but I think Nottingham Forest on a bit of a knife edge there, so maybe it'll be the Wolves who will come to face Watford or MK. So let's have a look at the teams. We'll start off with the visitors today, and Charlie Bell goes with the young goalkeeper today, so no Chloe Sansom. So Libby Stratton gets her 2nd start of the season, and of course it's no league football going on now, so it's been some time since these sides play, so there's going to be a lot of ring rust around today and cobwebs to be blown. So Stratton starting off in goal. In front of her with an advisor to the back four will be Zoe Boots and Hannah Warren as fullbacks, who can interact and swap on either flank. Laura Bright, known as LB, skippers the side alongside Sasha Newsom in the heart of defence. Into midfield, and the engine room features a former Golden Girl. That's right, Vicky Neal was a central defender back here in the 2017-2018 season, but is now playing as a central midfielder alongside young Rhiann Rush. Out on the wings on the left flank is another former Watford player, Sherelle Albert, who scored 7 goals this season and will be looking for more. And Nicole Pepper, former Charlton Athletic midfielder, out on the right. Up front, bit of pace here, 2 former Cambridge United players. Jade Bell, very fast winger, very explosive bag of pace, and of course up front alongside her, Molly Cooper. On the bench today for MK Dons, they go with fullbacks Kerry Newman and Shauna Munnelly. That's another one of the former Watford brigade. Also on the bench are Mia Kirietsia and Emily Newman-Booth, who can play in midfield and in defence. Bit of firepower up front, Slovakian winger Dominika Necheva and non-league, sort of lower league legend Laura Mills makes up the 6 on the bench today. Now, of course, with the subs, you can name up to a maximum of 9 in the Women's FA Cup this season, and you can play a maximum of 5 of those 9. But let's just see what Clint Lancaster has gone with his side today. Watford now line up as follows, going with a 4-3-3. And obviously Chrissy Wiggins in goal today. The centre-half pairing of Kat Huggins and Anne Ewald be complemented by some pace on the full-back flanks. from Rio Vaz and of course at Liam Bell. And Rio Vaz will be champing in a bit. If you those you might remember, right at the start of the now curtailed league season, scored an absolute belter at Stadium MK in that 4-win defeat inflicted on MK. Of course, Sarah Wiltshire got a hat-trick that day, but not features today. Into midfield, anchored by the ever-dependable Emma Beckett alongside Francesca Ali and Megan Chandler, and some serious firepower and pace up front, captained of course by Helen Ward, Wales' all-time leading goal scorer in international football, and of course Adi Fatugadada alongside Rosie Kanita won't lack for opportunity to use their pace against the MK Dons defence. Now on the bench for Watford today, we do have goalkeeper Katie McLean, Molly Wheeler, Holly Holt, Renelle Humes, Alicia Stoko-Down, striker Anaya Harney and Ruby Smith. Our referee today, of course, will be Deanne Foster, and her assistants are Zach Dimitriades and, believe it or not, former MK Dons player Joanne Horwood. And so the weather conditions, that's a little breeze, has just sort of dropped back a little bit now, so it's not too bad. The pitch looking in absolutely fine fettle, fine condition, as the team's just going through their last few minutes of team talks and getting ready. Of course, in the era of COVID, gone are the days of coming out the tunnel together. So both teams are actually camped either side of our commentary position today, as we're up in the gods here at Kings Langley's Orbital Fasters Stadium. Kings Langley, a little mention to the host club, of course, the ground. They play in the third tier of England's non-league system. When they're allowed to, that is, of course, but the pitch looking good. It is, of course, behind closed doors, so I very much appreciate everyone joining us on the live stream today. And, of course, just to remind you, if it is level after 90 minutes, we will go into extra time. If the scores should be level after that, then it is the dreaded lottery of penalty kicks. Obviously, both managers and players will be hoping it doesn't go that far today, as this is really the first competitive game these sides will have played since the middle of December. So it's going to be a matter of who will adjust first to suddenly running around on the pitch. And so just waiting for the referee to call the team to order. So this is literally just to our left-hand side, the last-minute team talk from Charlie Bill, just fine-tuning things. Well, I hope you enjoyed our little potted history of Kings Langley, something a little bit different on the live stream. Probably knowing things you never knew existed and probably never wanted to, but always useful for your pub quizzes. So I hope you were taking notes. But just hearing, obviously, with there no fans in the stadium, you can actually hear what is going on. And Charlie Bill there for MK Dons just saying, make sure you apply yourselves, just making sure that the team do hit the ground running. And it'll be the same for both sides. No football, competitive football, for nearly 4 months. And of course, when the Dons started their league season, absolutely dismantled by Watford at Stadium MK. And that will be on the mind, maybe be on the mind of some of the MK Dons players. And of course, as I said, for Watford, the only surviving goal scorer in the starting line, I would say, was Ria Vaz. We put in a lovely, about 25-yard pile driver as the referee. Ian Foster calls the teams to order. And Clinton Lancaster, so we've heard a bit of the MK Dons manager, but Clinton Lancaster just coming out with a real all-important message here. Make sure you enjoy it. Enjoy the day. The FA Cup is something to be enjoyed, and in women's football it is held up. I think the domestic cup games are held up in high regard. Of course, there's a little bit of prize money to be gained as well in this competition, but of course, more importantly for the two sides today, it's who will actually go through to the third round. A home tie next Sunday against either Wolverhampton Wanderers or Nottingham Forest. That's the prize for a victory today. And ultimately, as the draw for the fourth round has already been made, Whoever gets to the 4th round will face Blackburn Rovers of the Championship at home. So the referee just calling the captains, just about to call the captains over. Of course, Helen Ward for Watford today has that honour. Watford form their little huddle just before kick-off. MK Don's already in theirs. Just last few moments before kick-off. I think there'll be a few nerves amongst the players, the coaching staff and the referee behind saying, come on, let's be having you, let's get ready. Of course, most of the second round games already were kicking off 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock kickoffs. So this is one of the only two matches kicking off at 3 o'clock today. So Helen Ward in the centre circle, now awaiting the arrival of visiting captain Laura Bright. Watford in their familiar gold and black shirts, black shorts and black socks. MK Dons in all white with gold trim. And just time for a last minute inspection from the assistants. And just checking that everyone's footwear is as it should be. There's both assistants, and they have got quite a bit of work too, just checking the, well, say, Joan Hallwood already sprinting off to check the goal netting, and Zachary Mitriadis checking the goal to our left-hand side. As a coin toss comes up, who gets a kick-off, who gets a choice of ends. And Laura Brighton looks to, I think, maybe on the toss. Here's a change of ends. So Watford, as you watch, will be attacking to the right. Obviously, so Joanne Hallwood will be our assistant referee on our near side. Zachary Mitriadis on the far side, just in front of the Hearts stand, the disabled enclosure. A recent addition to the Orbital Fasters Stadium. So Watford to get this underway. And we're on the way here. Well, drag it on. That's me getting ahead of myself. Of course, take it. So it had to happen. We take the knee. I'm sure that will appear in the blooper section later on in the season. There we go. That's what happens. The excitement of the FA Cup even gets to the best of the commentators and me. But we will now get underway. And indeed, we do finally get started. There you go, Chris. Ward first touch to Bell, just over the halfway line. Now Bell, been at the club for quite some time, since coming from Crystal Palace 4 years ago. We'll pass back from Huggins. Little first touch of the day for Chrissy Wiggins. Of course, no Sophie Harris now, so Wiggins has a chance. We'll try and release Francesca Ali. Wins the throw. Bell again. And the ball just hitting the referee, and of course when that does happen, it will be uncontested drop ball to the side who have possession first, or prior to the, shall we say, the diversion of the direction of the ball. Quickly underway. That's touch for former Watford player Vicky Neal. Just locking horns there with Erin Chandler. Look up from My World, and pass is intercepted there from Rhian Rush. And Rush looking to play in Bell. And Bell with a bit of pace there, but just first touch a little bit heavy. So that is one of the dangers that Watford will be facing this afternoon. Here's the pace there of Jay Bell. And of course, we're quite close to the action, so you can hear a lot of what's going on the pitch with the players geeing each other up and encouraging all the way. But Watford now get it left, right side of the midfield. Here's Ali coming over. Too good, just stretching there. Addy for Tugadada with 96 on the back today. The longest serving member of the current Watford squad. So pro ball on the left hand side there with Rosie Kamita. Cross comes in. A little bit of hesitation in the back, ball stabbed clear by Bright. And just a hurried clearance for Watford throw-in on its near side. Ball just played up there, and Ali Fadougadada realising that was maybe a little bit of a lost cause. The first chance to see what Libby Stratton can do. Young goalkeeper, only 18 years of age. One clean sheet in the league in the now curtailed season for MK Dons. Goes for a low pass out to Zoe Boot. Better known as a right back Boot, but playing on the left today. And Watford again, Bell up the right hand side. And free kick there to Watford. Free kick specialist, Emma Beckett will take this. 33-year-old midfielder. He's represented Ireland in international footy. And work routine there. The ball just skipping on this lovely surface which has not been played on for much of the season. It's as near as to the proverbial carpet as you're going to get in football these days. Corner to Watford, Kamita will take. And from the right hand side, the flight coming in. And the header in there, hits the crossbar, comes off. Oh, that's a let off there for MK Dons. And of course with no goal line technology, no VAR in effect. Very, very hard to see if that had actually crossed over the line, but struck the inside, and we'll see again. But early warning there for MK Dons. So with a throw-in, control there by Vicky Neal, quickly closed down by Chandler. Robs with midfield, floats the ball into the edge of the penalty area, and here that chance of Watford, and a good block there from Stratton. Vermeer with a shot and a good reflex from the young keeper. That will fire up Watford even more here. Again, good block from Stratton there. And again, good covering work from the MK Dons defence to see the obviously the loose ball. Quickly clear it away from danger. Watford looking for that early strike that would really sort of stamp their authority on the game. Nearly 6.5 minutes played here at the Orbital Fasten Stadium. And a shot charged down, and now Dons try and break. Out with Cooper, drifting out very wide onto the right-hand side. Albert making a little run into the edge of the penalty area now. Bell's in there as well. But Wiggins, quick off the line, gathers safely. We see Wiggins, the 28-year-old shot stopper for the Golden Girls today. Watford just start up from the back again. I will move out. Fatuga, a nice little back heel there from Ali, releasing Fatuga Dada, quickly closed down there by Vicky Neal. Dons again, and this is the explosive pace here. Bell in on goal. Could this be the opener for Jay Bell? Oh, rifles that one low past Chrissy Wiggins. And straight from the other end of MK Dons, wide in their luck, and with that crossbar strike and a good stop from the keeper, they've broken the deadlock. Allegedly just before the 8-minute mark. And again, just seeing Bell there, getting in behind the defence with that turn of pace, striking that low right across the keeper, giving Wiggins no chance at all. Watford 0, MK Dons 1. And that's Jay Bell's 6th strike of the season. But a player that some commentators have dubbed turbos, and I think we could see why there. So MK Dons striking first. And that could have 1 or 2 effects for Watford, and I think it's going to be more the latter of coming out all guns blazing now. The early goal has gone the way of the visitors. Obviously, when these two sides met back in September, in the start of the now curtailed league season, it was Watford who came away with that 4-1 win. But as we've just seen, Bell giving the visitors an early lead here in the FA Cup. Now Zoe Boot, their left back, former at Banbury United ladies player. Another ball finding Bell again, twisting and turning, and couldn't get past the Watford defence on that occasion. But maybe the option of going 4-4-2 today for Charlie Burl may just have thrown the proverbial spanner in the works. And Nicole Pepper sees the ball into touch for a throw-in, just under our position. Boot again with the throw-in. Watford looking to try and get themselves back into the game here and just to not concede a second goal. Sherelle Albert on the ball now. Former striker here back in the 2017-18 season under the stewardship of Keith Bonas. Back in the day. Was in the same Watford team and squad with Vicky Neal. Both MK teammates now. That's a hell with a throw in to Ali, and referee just spotting a little nudge there. And Sherelle Albert maybe just trying to argue her corner there with the referee. Not always a wise thing to do. But Watford with a free kick. 11 minutes played. Got past the bell. To Ali, but a little bit of lack of communication and a stray pass. But good covering work there, charging work there from Ali. Former Leyton Orient midfielder. A big loud shout of keepers there from Libby Stratton. And Don's goal, Watford, of course, with it being behind closed doors, you're going to hear more of the players more, you're going to hear more of what's said on the pitch. Maybe just taking a little bit of time there with a release. But Don's leading by that 8th minute strike by Jay Bell. But while it is still 1-0, very much a fine line. Many a time we've seen matches when teams have come behind from 1-0 down and quickly turn it around to lead 2-1. And that will be back on the players' minds as well. But Watford in a bit between their teeth here. Just trying to probe. Now Wall's breaking down under. The challenge there, well. Ward was looking for that one, and the referees are all interested in that one, Dean Foster. A challenge from Laura Bright there. That's we've seen those given. Watford get themselves another throw midway through Don's territory. Been trying to restore the scoreline to parity. Trailing by a goal to nil. It's Chandler now. As Watford getting bodies in the box for the crossing, but it's turned behind for a corner. And Watford's longest serving member of the squad, Ali Fatugadada. Will fancy swinging this one in. He's already scored 3 times this season in the league. Also, the league season only lasted 8 matches. That corner whipped in. There's header there from Sasha Newsom. Just sticks. He's out wide to his near side. Another pressure though. More pressure here. There's another throw in. Bell will take. Out German defender Aaron Miewald. The Passo rested down. A shout of handball we hear, but referee on the spot there, not too concerned. But Watford finding space on the left now. Revise. It's a Ward. It's been stood up there by Newsom. The first touch out from Huggins, just a little bit of a shin roller, just spiralling off into touch on the far side. So a quarter of an hour played here at the Orbital Fasters Stadium. Watford trailing by a goal to nil. Jay Bell getting in behind the defence to smartly strike the ball across Chrissy Wiggins on 8 minutes. But that came after Watford could well and truly could easily have been 1-0 up themselves. Striking the underside of a crossbar and then drawing out a great save. Great reflex save from young Libby Stratton. Young keeper in the absence of Chloe Sansom. Stratton gets a nod today for the visitors. To Ward again. Now for Ward on left side of the penalty area. Oh, nice little jink there, selling the dummy to a defender. The ball coming out wide and forward to Fatuga, who just sort of was off balance there, stretching there and just couldn't direct that on target. But again, that's the danger that Adi Fatuga does possess. Again, as Bella's got pace, so has Adi Fatuga. Now Albert in midfield for MK Dons, finding Rhiannon Rush. Trying to play now, Hannah Warren. Sends the ball forward, but no one there really to gather it up. Becky Neal chasing in, but it's Watford clear. Pepper now, switching play out to Sherelle Albert. 7 times a goal scorer this season for MK Dons, including 2 penalty strikes. And Shinbu's not on that occasion. So Wiggins, thinking the agonies of choice of who to pass the ball to in this short goal kick. Of course, perfectly allowed as long as the strikers don't go into the penalty area when you do take it. And just before, a little slip there from Chandler, now allowing Bell in. The ball just played the wrong side there of Rhiannon Rush. As Watford up the left-hand side, try and put some pressure there, and that's how not to try and get the ball, unfortunately. And Bell bursting into the penalty area again for Dons, just dragging the ball back to Molly Cooper, but pass lacking power. Rush tries the luck though, to no avail. So Wiggins again. That's a new Val, twisting past Cooper, and now takes another couple of players out in the wake, and the hard work done there, but the final execution just lacking a little bit. There's Leanne Bell there, just on a little bit of pressure, maybe a little sneaky little shove there from Sherelle Albert. Well, some of the Watford subs just having a little stretch on the touchline. Because Watford do have the likes of Alicia Stocco-Down and striker Anea Harney in their ranks today. As well as spare keeper, sub-keeper Katie McLean, if required. Off and out with Ali, and nice little turn. Watford probing up the left-hand side, trying to force maybe a little mistake here from the keeper, but Stratton composed under pressure. Flicked into touch though from the back heel from the sole of the boot as well of Emma Beckett, so still 1-0. Dons lead. And Committer trying to get space wide on the left-hand side. There's Dons who break up at the other end though, with Bell again. Ball deflecting out, she's kept it in touch though. Jay Bell, Albert in the box. Get some good defensive work there for Watford at the back, at the cost of a corner. And this is where an aerial threat now comes in for MK Dons. Laura Bright and Sasha Newsom. Now, 4 times this season, Watford have scored with headers. Sorry, I beg your pardon. MK Dons have scored with corners. Scored with those headers from the corners. Here's Pepper with the delivery. Bright and Newsom just off the penalty spot. That ball swung in and up in the air by Molly Cooper, who's up and under it. Accidentally on the ball, just hooked clear into touch. Charlieville just surveying things in front of him. His side 1 goal to the good. Clinton Lancaster and Harman Kavacha are surveying everything in front of them, seeing their side 1-0 down. There's rush in midfield. Little glance up there from the youngster and a nonchalant little poke out there to Newsom. There's Boot trying to get in behind Watford's defence here. But Watford equal to the task on this occasion. Oh, Beckett sliding in. A loose ball picked up. That's a rush again. And Dons do seem fired up for this one today. Remember, the winner of this, as well as getting a bit of prize money for winning the tie, will be at home next weekend, facing the winner of the Wolverhampton Wanderers Nottingham Forest match. As Watford now, the ball just slightly overstruck for Leanne Bell. Boot with a throw in this near side. Looking for runners and just a little flick on there from Rhian Rush. It's Watford in possession. That's a Cat Huggins. Been at the club for about 3 years now, having come from London Bees. There's Anne Valds. Out to Bell on the right-hand side. Nice little touch there, just takes it past Sherelle Albert. And then Beatner tries to beat her again. It's got support now from Chandler. To Beckett. Well, Huggins now comes over the halfway line, plays the ball centrally. Cut out by Newsom. And Beckett on the ball now. Attempts a little step over there, and that's like a red rag to a ball when you're trying to do a step over to Vicky Neal, but that'll be an intriguing little midfield battle there between the 2 experienced players. Vicky Neal now 30. Of course, Beckett now 33. Very much the engine rooms of both sides at midfields. Watford finding MK Dons on this occasion a little bit more of a tougher nut to crack than what they faced back in September in 2020. Of course, Sarah Wilshire was on target that day, not once, not twice, but scored a hat-trick. And coupled with Ria Vise's, a stunning, about 20-25 yard pile driver. Gave Watford the points on that occasion, but of course cup football is a different proposition, a different game altogether. Wiggins clearance. Falls out to Nicole Pepper, the former Charlton Athletic midfielder. Finding Rush by the referee. Signals a free kick, so Pepper may fancy this one. Don skipper, Laura Bright, standing over the ball with her as well. And now deciding, there we go, I've given you some instructions. Old Tudorloff. Now 3 in the wall for Watford. This is Nicole Pepper. Wiggins just off the line. He doesn't need to worry on this occasion. Again, Watford opting for the short goal kick. The Clint Lancaster manager very much likes his idea to play out from the back, play flowing football, don't just lump it long. Watford are trying to play. And through the middle and just trying to release it. Committer now. Stratton with the clearance. That's control there, just a little backwards flick from Beckett. Our former Tottenham player Vise linking up with Committer. Rosie Committer once in the same Cambridge United team as the likes of Laura Bright and Vicky Neal. It's on opposing sides today as Williams comes off the line. Steers out into touch on the far side. Of course, blazing, lovely sunshine here in Hertfordshire this afternoon at Kings Langley's Orbital Faster Stadium. Just a 1 goal in it so far. 27 minutes played. Jay Bell's strike on 8 minutes, solving the difference of a 0-0 and a game with a goal at least in. Of course, remember, if this does end up level after 90, there will be extra time and penalties if it's still locked after that. But both managers, with a subs bench today, can use up to 5 players in the FA Cup. Charlie Bill encouraging his side rather vocally in that stark comparison to the calm, measured, silent approach to Clint Lancaster. Watford just pushing a little bit further forward now. Just taking a bit of a higher line with our defence, trying to release their Committer on the left-hand side. The first touch though just lets her down. Pepper in the midfield and just hooks that one forward up towards Molly Cooper, trying to use that bounce to do the work for her, and a little bit of maybe a little mix-up at the back. So a corner now for MK Dons. The regular set-piece taker, Nicole Pepper, who takes most of the free kicks and the corners. Has quite a busy afternoon, usually. But Watford looking to keep this out. Covering defenders on both posts and just keeping an eye on that little conga line forming on the edge of the 6-yard box. Vicky Neal, Sasha Newsom, Laura Bright in there as well. Shez Albert just in front of the keeper, but that seems to strike and come out. And the return though, off target by Pepper. I'll kick to Watford. Wiggins just changes the mind at the last moment. And again, the danger of taking these short kicks is when the opponent strikers are waiting for you on the edge of the area. As soon as you kick, that's it, they'll close you down. But here's a break here for Watford, for Tugadada, in a bit of space here on the right-hand side. Nice cross into the box there, right across the face of goal. Ward on the follow-up, danger not yet averted yet. As Neil hooks it into touch, but the way this game just suddenly flowed there for Tugadada, suddenly pouncing there in acres of space. And MK Dons have just got to be careful. The cross coming in there. Demeter was stretching, just couldn't get to it, and then the ball came back in there, and we just see then finally hooked to clear. Anxious moments there for the visitors, trying to preserve their slender 1-0 lead. With just under quarter of an hour to go in the first half. We'll slice up in the air there for MK Dons. who brings the loose ball down first. Now Committer on the left, sending this one in. Fatugadada leading the chase. Got support from Bell. That's Leanne Bell. But Fatugadada doing it herself. But can't get that one into the danger zone, and it will be a goal kick to MK Dons. Now Clint Lancaster now, not a man of few words, but knows when to use them, and just a few instructions there for Rosie Committer, just to try and drop off a little bit. The ball up towards Cooper. The choice today for MK Dons is did they go with experienced Hannah Barrett up front, or go with maybe the pace of the younger version? That's of course Molly Cooper. But here's the veteran there. Oh, Ward into the side netting. Of course, Wales' all-time leading goal scorer. You'll see the long ball played forward there. Perfectly run onto there by Ward, getting inside and behind the defence and just sending it high, but sadly into the side netting. There's a couple of it, maybe had 3 or 4 inches to the left there, and that would have been right into the corner, and there wouldn't have been much that Stratton could have done about that at all. Just goes to show with 1-0, it's never done and dusted, especially when you take an early lead. And Watford have had opportunities, and here's Chandler now in midfield, in the centre, sending out wide. Francesca Rowley scampering after him, just loses the battle on that occasion. Francesca Rowley, so former Leyton Orient midfielder. As Rush just steers it forward up towards Cooper, but intercepted by Mival again. Now playing Beckett into space in the centre. Beckett closed down by Bell, and now Chevelle Albert brings the ball forward on the left wing for MK Dons. Being tracked back there by Leanne Bell. And Albert trying the wrong footer, and Bell beats her on this occasion. And now it's for Fatugadada. But just a millisecond too quick. And Joanna Horwood's flag goes up and stops the afterburners on this occasion for Fatugadada. White with a free kick. Sloughed out forward, but a free header there for Bell. Back to Huggins at the back, it's dropped, and here's Bell again. And very nearly plays it through the keeper and strikes the foot at the post. Oh my word, and that was nearly a second there for MK Dons. Anxious moments at the back. And a little slip there, I think, from Huggins. Just took the eye off the ball there, and Bell very nearly nipping in for a second. But Jay Bell definitely on a mission today, it seems. But again, of course, a lot of the second round action has already been played today. A lot of games kicking off at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Or obviously the 2 o'clock games that nearly getting there. Of course, this is just one of 2 being played at 3 o'clock. Of course, with no league action now for the rest of the season, it is just the FA Cup that interests the sides, and the winner of this will be back in action next Sunday. In fact, it's successive Sundays now. As we just see again, that's the chance for, could have been a second for MK Dons. The initial block there from Stratton, and the follow-up shot from Bell striking the post. Who'd be a goalkeeper, eh? But it is still 1-0. Very much the game, very much in the balance. Those inside the last 10 minutes of the first half. Jay Bell's strike on 8 minutes. Well, that separates these 2 sides, but Watford, they very indeed well have had a couple of goals of their own, so not had it all. It's not been any one side running away with it. A lot closer from what the 4-1 scoreline in the opening league game was back in September. Again, that was a long time away as a missed kick there from Laura Bright. I think that may have been an attempt to try and take out the commentator, you never know. It has happened before. Challenge there just left in on Francesca Raleigh, so a free kick to Watford. Mewald was placing it down. And now it's maybe leave it for Fatugadada. Looking for options here. We'll run in the middle there from Beckett. Indeed, that's exactly who gets it, and it shows too much of that. And Vicky Neal slides that into touch. And maybe just collected a little bit of Fatugadada sliding in there, and just maybe just a little limp there for Watford's right winger. Throwing out to Beckett. Finding Huggins, a bit of space here in the middle. It's over the halfway line, short ball out, and that just didn't have the legs to travel there. And Bell now trying to release Cooper. Molly Cooper now for MK Dons. Watford's defence does their job on this occasion, but now here comes Bell again. A trip clip from behind here at the pier. And Bell's pace does sometimes have that effect on teams. The only way to stop a player in full flow is to bring them down, but it is a free kick for the visitors. Watford, 2 in the wall. There's Jan Foss, the referee, just to make sure they are the required distance back. Pepper with a little run up here. Just chips that one over the wall into the penalty area. Hit first time there. There's hook there from Sasha Newsom. And a little touch there, fingertip touch there from Wiggins. Another corner for MK Dons. Just looking to see it again then for this, just for this free kick again. Chipped over the wall there. Hit first time by Newsom. And the ball just coming at a bit of an awkward height there for Wiggins, but managing just to tip it around the post. And Nicole Pepper from the left. Again, that's a familiar conga line. The chain gang in the middle for Dons, a higher ball into the box. Here goes far post. And glanced into the side netting though. From Laura Bright. That would have been Bright's first of the season, but the side netting rules on this occasion. Watford now trying to desperately get back onto level terms. So Cooper brought down again, and another free kick, and a little bit of frustration creeping into play now. Ali Fatugadada taking it upon herself to try and get her teammates fired up and going, right, okay, sort out the wall, and this is in a very, very precarious position for Watford. The south side of the D. Sherelle Albert has been known to larrup one in from this range before. Now 4 in the wall for Watford. Pepper and Albert both teeing up for this one. Who fancies a dummy run on this occasion? But Albert goes for goal herself and sends that one clear over the crossbar. Wiggins quite happy to see that one sail over. Goes for the short kick again. Inside the last 5 minutes. Just the 1 goal in it this afternoon. On Vitality at Women's FA Cup Day. It's the second round, the game which should originally have been played on the 2nd of January. And challenge there, only for Fatugadada. Actually been wrong there, but one's with a throw in. He'll be into it now. It's Leanne Bell just turns around, but sadly brings the ball into touch. And Helen Ward not happy with that couple of decisions made in that phase of play. Just having a little inquiry with Joanne Horwood on this near side. Maybe to no avail. Another corner for MK Dons. Obviously Watford keen to avoid conceding a second just before the interval. Trying to avoid what could be a bit of a mountain to climb in the second half. Pepper just steals herself on this left wing. Nicole Pepper. Albert in the penalty area, and the ball comes in, and the header in there, but it goes across the area. But Bright again. Couldn't direct her header on target. It's a goal kick to Watford. It's Wiggins. Also playing out to Huggins now on the left-hand side. Former London Bees defender plays it up and heads up, the ball just bouncing, and referee. Just a little nudge there. Brings play back. And 2.5 minutes to go. Plus anything that may be added on. Becky now steering it out onto the... trying to aim it out wide on this near side. Francesca Ali wants to leave Leanne Bell to do the throwing duties. And here's Bell. Watford getting players forward. Gamita and Ward in the penalty area here as Mevald now on the ball. She's it forward to Fatugadar, a little quick short turn there, nice little release out to Ali. The cross though is off target. And goes over the crossbar and behind for an MK Dons goal kick. I'll say once again, big thank you everyone tuning in, watching the live stream today. Hope you enjoy, well, depending what side of the fence you're on, hope you're enjoying the game and enjoying the coverage. Of course, with being behind closed doors, this gives everyone a chance to watch the game, and I think it's absolutely fantastic of Watford to do this. But can they get the goal for their fans who are absent today? Ali now with the ball, just sort of just popping up into the penalty area. A little shout there from Stratton again. Stratton with maybe 1 foot on into a clean sheet. Yes, a lot of football still to go. Now Mevald again with Cooper chasing after her. Sasha Newsom just playing that ball anywhere really. Did a little bit of time management, but just popping that ball anyway. Just maybe just eat up a few seconds on the clock. There's Hannah Warren now. Very young side, this MK Dons side. A few teenagers in the starting lineup, but with Watford with a lot of experience, of course. Watford came into this match, obviously with the infamous now curtailed season. We're top of the table though. MK Dons were down in 4th. Obviously both sides had contrasting scores in their last game of what was the season. MK Dons 4-1 defeated away at Portsmouth. Watford 4-0 winners at home against Chichester and Chelsea. But this game really maybe not going to the scripts as Watford are concerned. In the time added on at the end of the first half. MK Dons leading by Jay Bell's 8th minute strike. Could have had a second, but if it wasn't for the keeper Chrissy Wiggins and the upright combining, of course Watford could easily have been ahead before Bell did strike. Striking the underside of the crossbar, and the keeper being forced to draw out a good save as well. But this game very much for the taking for anyone who dares today. Kamita now out wide for Watford. Little look there at the referee and felt that she had been impeded, and Leanne Foster doesn't concur with that opinion. Okay, Don's with a throw. Pepper hooks it forward, but just catches the top of the ball. Don's happy to just put that into touch. So Watford with the throw. Maybe the last chance to restore parity before the interval. Well, just evading Francesco Ali, but not Fatuga Dada, who is a tricky customer and gets behind Zoe Boot here. Fatuga Dada lofts the ball into the penalty area. And maybe the referee just bringing play back here. Felt, I'm going to say, Fatuga Dada, he felt he had been impeded there and didn't look like there was maybe a little bit, just left in there. So Watford in the last chance saloon at the end, last knock-ins of the first half. Huggins swings this one into the penalty area. Glance across the face of the area, and again the ball just coming up. Safe take there from Stratton. And the keeper in no real rush here. And that is the half-time whistle here at the Orbital Fasteners Stadium in Kings Langley. Watford 0, MK Dons 1. Watford, though, could easily have drawn first blood in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Shot striking and rattling the underside of the crossbar. And then Libby Stratton putting out a reflex save from Helen Ward. But it is MK Dons who go into the break 1-0 up. Jay Bell's pace, we did say at the start of the game, could be a bit of a factor. And indeed, the player dubbed Turbos did exactly that, turned on the pace and steered the ball right across the dive of Chrissy Wiggins for the goal. And of course, could easily have had a second. Wiggins and the foot of the upright combining to deny Bell. But at the break, Dons with a narrow advantage. Watford with it all to do in terms of a scoreline. At place in the third round, beckoning. Of course, who will it be? Watford or MK Dons? Just one goal in it. Hope you'll join us for the second half. In the meantime, we'll catch you soon. Flight coming in, and the header in there, hits the crossbar, comes off. Oh, that's a let-off there for MK Dons. The area, and here that chance of Watford, and a good block there from Stratton. With a shot. But Dons again, and this is the explosive pace here. Bell in on goal. Could this be the opener for Jay Bell? Oh, rifles that one. Ward on left side of the penalty area. Oh, nice little jink there, selling the dummy to a defender. The ball coming out wide and forward to Fatuga Dada, who just thought to the penalty area again for Dons, just dragging the ball back to Molly Cooper, but pass lacking power. Rush tries the luck though. To the right hand side. Nice cross into the box there, right across the face of goal. Ward on the follow-up. Danger not yet averted yet. As Neil hooks it into touch. Did they go with experience Hannah Barrett up front, or go with maybe the pace of the younger version? That's of course that Molly Cooper. But here's the veteran there. Oh, Ward in. Back to Huggins at the back. It's dropped, and here's Bell again. And very nearly plays it through the keeper and strikes the foot of the post. Oh, looking to see it again then for this, just for this free kick again. Chipped over the wall there. Hit first time by Newsom, and the ball just coming at a bit of an awkward height there for Wiggins. Huggins swings this one into the penalty area. Glance across the face of the area, and again the ball just coming up. The flight coming in, and the header in there, hits the crossbar, comes off. Oh, that's a let-off there for MK Dons. The area, and here that chance of Watford, and a good block there from Stratton. Vermeer with a shot. Dons again, and this is the explosive pace here. Bell in on goal. Could this be the opener for Jay Bell? Oh, rifles that one. Ward on left side of the penalty area. Oh, nice little jink there, selling the dummy to a defender. The ball coming out wide and forward to Fatuga Dada, who just thought to the penalty area again for Dons, just dragging the ball back to Molly Cooper, but Pass lacking power. Rush tries the luck though. To the right hand side. Nice cross into the box there, right across the face of goal. Ward on the follow-up. Danger not yet averted yet. As Neil hooks it into touch. Did they go with experience Hannah Barrett up front, or go with maybe the pace of the younger version? That's of course Molly Cooper. But here's the veteran there. Oh, Ward into. Back to Huggins at the back. It's dropped, and here's Bell again. And very nearly plays it through the keeper and strikes the foot at the post. Oh, looking to see it again then for this, just for this free kick again. Chipped over the wall there. Hit first time by Newsom, and the ball just coming at a bit of an awkward height there for Wiggins. Huggins swings this one into the penalty area. Glance across the face of the area, and again the ball just coming up. The flight coming in, and the header in there, hits the crossbar, comes off. Oh, that's a let-off there for MK Dons. The area, and here that chance of Watford, and a good block there from Stratton. Vermeter with a shot. Dons again, and this is the explosive pace here. Bell in on goal. Could this be the opener for Jay Bell? Oh, rifles that one. Ward on the left side of the penalty area. A nice little jink there, selling the dummy to a defender. The ball coming out wide and forward to Fatuga Dadu. Just thought to the penalty area again for Dons, just dragging the ball back to Molly Cooper, but pass lacking power. Rush tries the luck though. To the right hand side. Nice cross into the box there, right across the face of goal. Ward on the follow-up. Danger not yet averted yet. As Neil hooks it into touch. Did they go with experience Hannah Barrett up front, or go with maybe the pace of the younger version? That's of course Molly Cooper. But here's the veteran there. Oh, Ward into. Back to Huggins at the back. It's dropped, and here's Bell again. And very nearly plays it through the keeper and strikes the foot at the post. Oh, looking to see it again then for this, just for this free kick again. Chipped over the wall there. Hit first time by Newsom, and the ball just coming at a bit of an awkward height there for Wiggins. Huggins swings this one into the penalty area. Glance across the face of the area, and again the ball just coming up. The flight coming in, and the header in there, hits the crossbar, comes off. Oh, that's a let-off there for MK Dons. The area, and here that chance of Watford, and a good block there from Stratton. Vermeter with a shot. Dons again, and this is the explosive pace here. Bell in on goal. Could this be the opener for Jay Bell? Oh, rifles that one. Ward on the left side of the penalty area. A nice little jink there, selling the dummy to a defender. The ball coming out wide and forward to Fatuga Dadu. Just thought to the penalty area again for Dons, just dragging the ball back to Molly Cooper, but pass lacking power. Rush tries the luck though. To the right hand side. Nice cross into the box there, right across the face of goal. Ward on the follow-up. Danger not yet averted yet. As Neil hooks it into touch. Did they go with experience Hannah Barrett up front, or go with maybe the pace of the younger version? That's of course Molly Cooper. But here's the veteran there. Oh, Ward into. Back to Huggins at the back. It's dropped, and here's Bell again. And very nearly plays it through the keeper and strikes the foot at the post. Oh, looking to see it again then for this, just for this free kick again. Chipped over the wall there. Hit first time by Newsom, and the ball just coming at a bit of an awkward height there for Wiggins. Huggins swings this one into the penalty area. Glance across the face of the area, and again the ball just coming up. The flight coming in. Okay, and welcome back. Ready for the second half here at Kings Langley's Orbital Fasteners Stadium in the Vitality Women's FA Cup. It's second round day today. For any team who does get a little run in the cup this season, it will be successive Sundays. The third round due to be played next weekend. The winner of this tie will face the winner of Wolverhampton Wanderers and Nottingham Forest. That finished 1-1 after the 90. That's gone into, just starting to go into the first period of extra time up in the Midlands. And that's just to obviously remind here, if it's level here after 90, extra time, and then maybe the dreaded penalty shootout beckons, depending what happens. MK Dons with a kick-off. Attacking the goal to the right in the second half, of course, with that 1-0 lead. Watford with it all to do. Those sides remain unchanged. There's Jan Foster, our referee, gets us underway for the second half. MK Dons with the kick-off. As such there, rear vise up to Beckett, to Rosie Kamita. With her sister Molly, very much media celebs in the world of women's football. It's Fatuga Dardano on the right-hand side here. Little jinking run, trying to get behind Zoe Boot. Cross comes delivered across the face of area there. Oh, agonisingly close there for Kamita. And that is exactly the start that Clint Lancaster would have wanted. And I think you heard that as well. Of course, with it being behind closed doors, there's very much an eerie silence in the stadium, punctuated by the players and the coaching, the coaches and the coaching staff. There's Kamita up the left again. And again, big thank you for those of you, all your comments coming through on the YouTube. Very much appreciated. Glad you're enjoying the coverage this afternoon here on the live stream. Bright with a little low header. Rush's clearance, so not ideal. Watford back in possession with Chandler. That's Emma Beckett. Just a little close down there from Ryan Rush. Watford will be going all the way out to get back on even terms, having fallen behind as early as the 8th minute. But having said that, as we said just at the end of the first half, it could have been oh so different. But here's a cross here. Kamita with a head though. Oh, what a glassy finish there! And it's all square. That's into the start of the second half. Little jink and a turn there, turning boot inside out, the cross coming in. And a flick on header there. Rosie Kamita with her second of the season, and it's all square. Watford 1, MK Dons 1. The perfect tonic for Watford, but not the start MK Dons would have wanted. Charlie Bill's side to do it all again, to try and retake the lead. That goal, I think, may just have galvanised Watford a bit here. There's Warren in midfield, beaten to it by the goal scorer Kamita. There's Ryan Rush with a tenacity belying her young years. In the heart of the visitors' midfield, and the ball being played out wide to Jay Bell. Bell now just trying to get behind. Vise, cross comes in low, foot stuck out there. And a little bundle over, and a big shout from the MK Dons bench for a penalty. The referee keeping a very close eye on proceedings here. There's players sliding in. But interesting that the bench was a very loud appeal from the bench, but nothing from the players. Rush again in midfield, just over the halfway line. There's Sherelle Albert, former Watford player. So Watford just play back to Chrissy Wiggins. Chandler dropping deep into that defence to get the ball now is Muvald. Finding Leanne Bell with a bit of space on that right byline. Launching it forward in behind Sasha Newsom, but Newsom just getting ahead of there first. And the keeper, Stratton, reaches aloft and gathers it. Just lots to roll it out. Here's at Newsom, playing up from the back here. Sasha Newsom just steadies herself. Forward to Bell, and just a little miss kick there from Dons' goal scorer in the first half. Here's Cooper trying to release that Bell, and she's got in behind again. The flag stays down. Here comes Bell into the penalty area. Oh, great defending at the back there for a corner. But the way Bell burst through there were about telling glances on the sideline. The arm was up at the back there from Kat Huggins, appealing for offside, but the flag stayed down from Joanne Horwood. So Dons with the corner. Sherrod Albert just flays the ball out. It's going to be Nicole Pepper again. It's MK Dons yet to capitalise from the corners today, but they have scored with headed goals from 4 corners this season in the league. And that conga line then just sort of splinters at the last minute. The ball delivered in by Pepper. Newsom with the header. Blocked there by Helen Ward. The clearance though just back into Dons' half. And a little shout there in for Tugadada. Absolutely tearing around Anna Warren. And this game coming alive now. 1 apiece. Dons' lead nullified within 2 minutes of the restart. Here's Warren again. Plays the ball through the legs of Rosa Kamita. A little hesitancy there. Francesca Alley sliding in, and some of the challenges is starting to up a bit on the sidelines. The intensity, and there's a shout there from one of the players. Couldn't make out who it actually was, going, watch out with some of these challenges. And it is sort of getting a little bit spicy out there. Pepper in midfield for the Dons, hoisting the ball out in space and finding Sherelle Albert here. Bell's closing her down, but Albert still holds possession and goes for a goal, but that's straight at the keeper. No pressure there for Chrissy Wiggins. Eval's releasing Bell out on the right again. Important to touch it, just to give you a little update, because I know some of you are having a little interest into what's happening, because of course the winner of this match today will face Wolverhampton Wanderers or Nottingham Forest. Wolves have gone 2-1 up in extra time. And of course the winner of our match, Watford MK Dons, will be at home to that side, and the ultimate prize in the 4th round will be... And I just remind you that the ultimate prize in the 4th round lies in the shape of Championship side Blackburn Rovers. And that, of course, will be also a home tie. So either one of these sides could have up to 3 ties at home at least. Obviously, the competition has only been drawn as far as the 4th round so far. However, the FA could, depending what happens with lockdowns and anything with the way things carry on with COVID and progress in the country, We could, not saying it will happen, but they could delay the 5th round onwards to next season. Not saying it will happen, but that is a possibility they've got up their sleeve if they need to. But we've got at least another game to look forward to. But one of these sides is Bell now with the ball into the penalty area. No one's made the run. It's 10 minutes, nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half. Watford 1, MK Dons 1. Rosie Kamita strike 2 minutes into the second half, cancelling out Jay Bell's opener. And neither side yet to utilise any of their subs. Of course, he can name up to, well, can play rather, up to 5. Clint Lancaster named 7 on his bench today, including young Molly Wheeler. Holly Hart and Renelle Humes, of course, all established first team midfielder Alicia Stocco-Down is on the bench, who could be utilised, as is striker Anaya Harney. But a little bit of a slip at the back, and Megan Chandler holding off a challenge from Rhian Rush. Get some help from Mevald as well. And Watford and obviously a few shouts from, I think around maybe from somewhere, going who was that with a card or not, but of course here's Fatugadada now on the right hand side, just outside the penalty area, being held up there by Bupa. Goes in here for Fatugadada, keeps possession, drags it back across the face of the penalty area, cleared by Nicole Pepper. Words of encouragement from Clint Lancaster, obviously much better. He says, well, yes, the side levelled the scoring just at the start of the second half. They're just trying to consolidate and just now to push up the next gear or so. Here's Helen Ward, the captain. Goes for goal. Oh, not a million miles away there, Helen Ward. Just cutting in from the left-hand side and just wanting to keep it just a little bit off the line and just just onto the roof of the goal, roof of the net there. Of course, Helen Ward found the back of the net 5 times in Watford's 8 games in a rather shortened season. There's MK Dons trying to build up from the back here, up towards Bell. Little flick on there. Picks up the back by Kat Huggins and now Beckett into midfield. Nice ball over the top there, playing in for Fatugadada. Now another chance there, a little bit waywards. Now Sasha Newsom just looks up and just chips it over the line, but easy take there. Array of eyes now, but straight pass. Neil finding Warren on the right-hand side. But again, players not all on the same page at the moment. MK Dons, a long ball up the wing, but no runners up there. There's Wiggins at the back. There's a couple of Watford potential subs just having a little stretch. Along the byline, along the pitch. But 1 apiece it is. Closing in on the hour mark. And that was Bell. There's Rob Vizer and Bell just scampering through, and strong challenge there from Beckett. Committer just off balance there, just putting the ball into touch. Little glance there, little smile, little grin. And a little pull of a shirt there, and Nicole Pepper did get a bit of a shirt there of Francesca Alley. Hence the rather shrieking sound you heard there. And it was unfortunately a clear and visible grab, which does mean a free kick conceded. Emma Beckett just inside their left touch line. Sending that up in a shout there for Helen Ward and releasing the captain into the penalty area. Ward now. Ball up towards Fatigadada, and here's a chance. Just half cleared. A little hook up there from Pepper. MK Dons under pressure here. Here's Kamita. And that decision doesn't go down too well, and apologies if you have anything a little bit spicy out there. Of course, and I think it may be that that reaction verbally, but I think he's about to see Rosie Kamita become the first player into the book. I mean, again, apologies if you did hear that one at home, but that is also the thing with behind closed doors. You can hear just about everything that's going on the pitch. But Kamita becomes the first recipient of a yellow card this Sunday afternoon. Also, match officials around the country clamping down on any sort of dissent, verbal or physical. But when it comes to foul language, not like you know, it doesn't go down too well with them. Back to the action, one apiece it is. Just over the hour mark. And now Meerveld with Cooper chasing her. Pass blocked though by Albert, and now releasing Vicky Neal, who's come a little bit further forward into the attack now. And our ball coming in now, Bell just opts to call off the hunt on this occasion. So roll out there from Wiggins. Well, we're just spreading it out a little bit here. Back to Meerveld again now, to Bell on this right-hand side for Watford. Just holding on to possession here. It's a patient build-up. And thrown for Watford now, midway through Dons' half. That's for Tugadada with control. Shakes off the attentions there with Laura Brighton, plays the ball in. Here's Kamita, rounds the keeper. Can this be two? It is! And Kamita doubles the tally for the afternoon, and Watford go 2-1 up. See that pass played in behind. Hannah Warren maybe not close enough marking, and keeper does come off the line, but Kamita rounds the keeper and makes no mistake from close range. So Watford now back in the driving seat. And that definitely went down well with the Watford bench. Clint Lancaster. Oh, there's even a bit of a smile crack there by the Watford boss. Norman Cavajo also full of encouragement. And at the moment, the face of Ponder etched all over Charlie Bill for MK Dons. We've seen a 1-0 lead eroded, and now they are behind. Now Kamita, who's now on for a hat-trick this afternoon. And now Ward released, and MK Dons opened up the back here. Helen Ward cuts in, goes for central and curls one in. Oh, not a million miles away either for the Watford captain. And again, just lost it out a little bit over the crossbar. If that had gone in, and it could have been Bit of curtains for Dons. You do not, when you do concede the lead, you don't want to concede another quickly after. And they very nearly did. We're stuttering here from the Dons. And Beckett and Vicky Neal, and there's a little push out off the ball, and they're squaring up, a little half square up there from Vicky Neal behind the referee's back turned. And Emma Beckett may be bemused by that one. Obviously in cup football it is knockout football, so it's tempers can sometimes fray a little bit in the passion of trying to get on to the next round. The Premium Cup game of women's football in England, and here's Kamita, and the keeper's off a game. Oh my word, disaster at the back for MK Dons. I don't know what Stratton was thinking there, and Kamita has sealed a hat-trick. And Watford now firmly in control. Long ball forward. Again, Warren just drifts off again. And Rosie Kamita taking 18 minutes to get a hat-trick in the second half, and that has definitely turned this game on its head. And MK Dons, the visitors, very much with food for thought, and we're just here to, that's just away from our commentary position. One of the subs, I think, Emily Newman-Booth, I think, probably about to get ready. There is movement on the Dons subs bench. They have 25 minutes here now to try and overcome a 2-goal deficit. But Watford leading 3-1. Warren with the throw-in, controlled by Pepper. So now we'll go again, shall we? Deja vu. Warren with a throw-in. Gets a return from Rush. For Watford now, with that 2-goal cushion, and probably play a little bit more freer. But a decision has just gone against them. And Laura Bright and Sasha Newsom. Go up onto the edge of the Watford penalty area. Just leaves the fullbacks, Boot and Warren at the back, to keep an eye on Helen Ward. As Nicole Pepper on this right-hand side, I think we want to make sure with this delivery. That one's lofted in up towards the keeper, but again aims virtually straight at Chrissy Wiggins. Short roll out. Huggins finding the hat-trick heroine today, Rosie Kamita. The Dons committing players forward. Vicky Neal playing a bit further forward into midfield now. They are going to have to start gambling, and that could leave them exposed at the back. There's a break with Fatuga Dada, gets inside again. Fatuga Dada into the penalty area. That's just a bit heavy. Rounds the keeper, gets it past the keeper rather. Kamita was into the penalty area, but maybe not close enough on that occasion. A few nerves have crept into the Don side. I can get the back, and 2 goals in a 3-minute spell. For any side to concede that, always gives them just that steeper hill to climb. So Watford leading by 3-1. Just to give you an update elsewhere, it's currently in extra time. Wolverhampton Wanderers women 2, Nottingham Forest 2. The winners of that match will face the winners of this one, which at the moment does seem to be heading Watford's way. Molly Cooper Young striker who made her name playing in the 4th tier of women's football for Cambridge United before sealing a move to MK Dons. And it just means a break in play as treatment is meted out. Again, Watford sitting pretty at the moment, courtesy of a stunning second half hat-trick from Rosie Cometa. There's Cooper. Haven't received a bit of treatment, according to the FA guidelines, has to leave the field of play. So Don's temporarily short-handed. Cooper just waiting to be re-sent on. So back all square again, playing wise, but it's Watford who are leading 3-1. A long ball forward, it's cut out of the back. There's Pepper in midfield for MK Dons, but Ali jinking around Vicky Neal. And draws out the free kick. Becky with a free kick, something rather central. And into touch. And Laura Mills just stretching in the MK Dons technical area. Vastly experienced winger and centre forward. Has played for both Cambridge clubs, City and United. Could make an impact, but time is not on the visitors' side. Here's Cometa again, who's tormented. Dons, and here she goes again. Ball stopped there by Laura Bright, little clearance. Rhiannon Rush looks up in midfield. Cooper not going to trouble Huggins on this occasion. Here's Huggins again on the left. Little shout there for Cometa, who's got past Warren again, and Warren gets back and gets the ball second time. Rush to Neal, just scuffs that one. Picked up by Beckett. There's Helen Ward. And a bit of maybe just taking the eye off the ball at the back there for Watford. We advised about a breakdown of communication between defender and keeper. And back past the pass back there, rather too casual. And it does indeed now give the Dons an opportunity with a corner. Sherelle Albert just striding up to take a place just off the Watford keeper. Now 4 in that conga line again is Bright, Neal, Cooper and Newsom. The corner delivered in. Not fully cleared, and Cometa just gets the ball out despite the attentions of Bell. Ball swung in from Pepper, and needed a telling intervention at the back for Watford. Newsom at the back here. Offed it over at Jay Bell. And an imminent substitution coming for MK Dons. There'll be a double substitution here. Ellie Newman-Booth replacing Rhiannon Rush, and Sherelle Albert's placed in the starting in the 11, replaced by Laura Mills. So Rush and Albert leave the field of play. Newman-Booth and Mills on for MK Dons. I think this could possibly proceed A couple of changes for Watford. Just over a quarter of an hour to go. Watford sitting pretty, courtesy of Rosie Committer's treble. There's Bell now for Dons. And then Warren. Closed down and referee just spotting a minor infringement, not happy with. Now Hannah Warren, who has found life tough and a little bit hard dealing with Rosie Committer today. There's Bell and Committer, just seems to leave, maybe leaves a foot in there on Jay Bell. And the referee's going to have a word now. Committer's got to be careful because she's already on a booking and does indeed get a verbal warning. Jay Bell. Gets up and just walks away from this one. Pepper with a free kick. Indeed into the final 15 minutes now. And that one a bit too straight for the keeper again. Chrissy Wiggins not flinching. Under Pepper's free kick bombardment. Watford again, trying to play the ball through the middle this time, and here comes Helen Ward, and he gets a little shove over, it appears from Laura Bright, the referee just keeping an eye, maybe playing advantage, and well, Ward felt that was a foul, and maybe the ref just trying to let things go maybe a bit too much there. And Helen Ward, understandably annoyed there, and that is one player you do not want to get on the wrong side of. Clearly bundled over there, but and the Watford skipper being called over by the referee, Diane Foster. Can understand probably why Helen Ward was quite annoyed as she was. But obviously, sometimes with protestations, you've got to be very careful. MK Dons, 4 in the wall here. As for Tugadada, his free kick just outside the area. Up toward in, straight into the midriff for the keeper. Straight into Stratton. A little hesitancy there, who wants the ball, and the keeper. There's the halfway line, first touch for the sub, Laura Mills. And Emma Beckett doing a good job here, charging the ball down in midfield. Zobu gets it on the left-hand side of centre midfield. Anna Warren on this near side. Beckett comes over. That's a Newman Booth. Dainty little touch there, and Pepper steering out to Warren again. But Watford rolling their sleeves up at the back, not wanting to concede any of that 2-goal lead they've now got. Now see a change. With Rosie Committer and Megan Chandler, and for Tugadada leaving the field of play, to be replaced by Renelle Humes, Alicia Stoko down, and striker Anaya Harney. So Stoko down, on for Chandler, Harney on for Committer, and Anaya Harney, who made her first team debut back in 2018, playing in the fourth round of the FA Cup in the Watford defeat away at Liverpool. So Pepper again, another chance of going this loft again, straight towards the keeper, a little bit, very nearly a little mix up there. A couple of defenders nearly getting in the way of the keeper's line of vision. That could have taken a little deflection. That's still about 2-goal buffer. Looking solid. Ward wins a corner for Watford. And they are Harney. There's quite a statuesque striker. Does use that height to good effect. And detail to get in front of the keeper and make life difficult for Livy Stratton. And could Watford go further ahead here? Corner delivered in. Headed clear by Cooper. Well bundled over. Again, the reaction from Alicia Stokoe down. Not totally enamoured with that award of a free kick. But the sands of time clearly running out for the visitors. Just under 10 minutes to go. Watford 3-1 up. And they're feeling at this stage that maybe maybe feeling they have done enough to get a place back here next Sunday for the third round match. And the Wolverhampton Wanderers Nottingham Forest game has gone into a penalty shootout. We're now being advised. So 1-1 after the 90, 2-2 after extra time. That's into penalties for the right to face a winner of these two. As Francesco Ali. Dean to have nibbled J Bell just once too often. Again, it's been urged to calm down, maybe just an urge there just to calm down by the referee, Dan Foster. Who's not just hoisting cards out like confetti, there is very much the talking to the players, but here's Bell on the right hand side, delivery into the box. Cooper goes up for it, it is cleared. And as far as that, Newman Booth. Nicole Pepper's shot though just dragged to the left hand side for Chrissy Wiggins' goal. Short goal kick taken for Watford. And real advised the ball just showing too much of that to J Bell. Bell now. Lays it up the wing. Bell again. Using the body, shielding it from a substitute, Renell Humes. Throwing to Watford. Sliced clearance there for Watford. Again, Pepper again curling the ball into the penalty area, but playing that rather too central, making life very easy there for Chrissy Wiggins. Leave out into midfield, finding Ali. And this portion of the pitch opening up, and just a little bobble there at the last minute. Right, eyes just stretching, pokes it into touch. And J Bell again being double teams. Obviously seems so distant to go, but in the first half, Bell with a chance that could have made it 2-0 to Dons, and I would have definitely put a different complexion on the game. But as it stands, it's Rosie Cometa who's going to be grabbing the headlines tonight with a stunning hat-trick. 18 minutes from start to finish in the second half. And Clint Lancaster's side maybe feel they may not have finished with the scoring yet. Vise now. Ball into the box, cleared by Laura Bright. On skipper. And referee, again, just spotting something not happy with. Just over 5 minutes to go of the second half. Here at Kings Langley's Orbital Fastener Stadium. Stoico down with a shot at an attempt from range. Stratton saw him plenty of time this time. Louis Stratton, the 18-year-old keeper, formerly of Enfield Town. Maybe you're having a tough baptism of fire into the FA Cup this afternoon. Watford now, Bell just speaking up front, but it's at Watford now with Vise. This comes over, sots it up the wing, but it's intercepted by Sasha Newsom. Neil back to Pepper in midfield. If Watford are to see this slip, they're going to have to concede as quick as they scored in the second half, but I can't see that happening at the moment. And Bell on the right, ball back into midfield, finding Beckett. Says it out to his near side, and Humes now. It's a little touch, closed down by Warren. Stoico down, just lays the ball back to the last covering defender, Amy Valls. Now strides forward. The ball just glanced into touch off Ellen Ward. And latest news in that penalty shootout, Wolves had scored the first 4 of theirs, but missed the 5th. If they'd scored that, they would have gone through. As it stands, it's after 5 kicks, it's 4 apiece. We'll try and give you more updates of that as we can. Now, another couple of substitutions. An introduction for Watford for Molly Wheeler. I think Simon will be pleased as Leanne Bell makes way. Now Kerry Newman about to be introduced for MK Dons. And as pivot at Zoe Boot makes way for the Dons. Of course, this lovely newfangled ball. It's been around for a little while now. With subs, of course, it's gone are the days of eating up the clock and running over to the touchline, to the dugouts. All designed to speed the game up. But at the moment, it is Watford who are in 5th gear. 3-1 up inside the last couple of minutes, plus whatever will be added on. Jan Foster, our referee in the middle today. Now here comes Bell coming forward, but the flag is up. The turbo's primed just a little too much on that occasion for MK Dons' goal scorer today. Now Vicky Neal at the back. He's trying to stem the tide. We're virtually out of time here. There's a Naya Harney now. We're teasing across the face of the goal. We can advise you that the way it's looking, it will be Watford versus Wolverhampton Wanderers next Sunday. Wolves through on a penalty shootout. 6-5 after 7 kicks. They went down to sudden death in the Midlands. And all barring a biblical capitulation. Watford will be here next Sunday. Now Newman into midfield for the Dons. Vicky Neal. Straight pass easily gobbled up though. And we are now into time added on at the end of the second half. Jay Bell may have given Watford a little nervous moment in the first half, but it's Rosie Kamita that's securing the smiles all the way around the Orbital Fastener Stadium this afternoon. Here comes Warren. Now MK Don's got a little twist of the tail here. Cooper. Back to Bell. Looks up and Watford just getting players back here. And Cooper doing an ambitious effort there. We're tied down in the sunshine today, but so the pitch in glorious condition. And very much for cap off to Trevor Dealey and his grounds team here at the Orbital Fastener Stadium. We'll be getting run out again next weekend. Is Newsom. Just hurriedly coming in there, just snatching at that and steering that into touch. I say, perfect opportunity to say, Mick, thank you for tuning in and watching this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed this live stream. Here's Humes now on the ball, and again, thank you for all your comments coming through to the club. Here's Neal, out to Warren. And now has got a bit further forward here. Ball across the face of the penalty area, but loose ball at the back. Watford lash onto it. It goes into touch on the far side. And Newsom. Just looks up again and short pass through the middle, and that's a laboured pass there from the Dons defender. And ultimately, I think a few players starting to run on empty. Mustn't forget as well, for both these sides, this is the first competitive match they've played since the middle of December. And of course, I think the team's only started, I think, been able to start training, started last week. With a sound of the whistle there from Deanne Foster. I think it was the end of the contest, and indeed it's finished here at the Orbital Fastener Stadium. Watford 3, MK Dons 1. Jade Bell opening the scoring on 8 minutes after Watford could easily have taken the lead, crashing a shot from off the underside of the crossbar and then drawing out a reflex save from Libby Stratton. But it's all about Rosie, and things were looking rosy today for Watford. A stunning hat-trick in the second half, getting things underway 2 minutes after the restart, and rounding the keeper twice as well, being a real thorn in the visitors' side today, which ensures that her team will go through to the third round. And we'll pocket a little bit of cash as prize money as well. Of course, there is a loser's cheque as well for a few £100 for bowing out at the competition at this stage. But that's a teasing little reward in the fourth round, which will be a home tie against Championship side Blackburn Rovers, is one step closer for Watford. They will face Wolverhampton Wanderers here next weekend. Winners 6-5 in a penalty shootout after 2-2 after extra time against Nottingham Forest. And I would say, once again, thank you very much for watching this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage here today on Watford FC Women's live stream. I've been Chris Walker. Thank you again, as always. Thank you for your comments. Until the next time, it's bye-bye from us and bye-bye for me. Bye-bye for now.